Incredible acting to that lack of sound, I must say. The magic of movie filmmaking.
It's the part you're not supposed to.
I know.
Us hearing nothing and going,
yeah, but I mean, seriously, it's pretty impressive work, I must say.
a green screen!
Yeah. So I think, your character, on top of this being, set against the Holocaust, it is very much a coming of age story for your character. We see her go through so much over these episodes, but I'm very curious, what was it like kind of following her transformation, her evolution as a character throughout this story? What was it like for you, and was it easy to get lost in that progression that she goes through?
I love that question. Yeah, I mean, she goes through so much. We meet her when she's, 18, doesn't want a serious boyfriend. She's just living life, feeling free. Like, she's a free spirit. She's fun. And then the war she has to mature so fast, and she's no longer this free person, and she has to change her personality. She's not a free spirit anymore. How can you be? You're not allowed to be free in any sense. So that was an interesting character development. But also, her journey with Adam is so beautiful and heartbreaking and confusing at times, which is kind of, I love Helena's independence, even with all the chaos going on. Before she really decided that she wanted to be with Adam, she's like, no, I'm my own woman. And I'm like, yes. But then she's like, oh God, fine, I love him. And I find her to be so, I love that. I love that she's so, beautifully independent and complicated and is allowed to express those things, even in this time of dire, terribleness. But this scene in particular, it always makes me emotional, because, that day, it's there's a point where I'm an actor, I show up, I'm professional, I do my job every day, but you can't help but really feel how, you can't help but feel the moments of this show while making a show like this. It just gets so heavy, and it gets so, your life becomes entangled with this person and the person that you're playing. And, Sam, who plays Adam, is just marvelous person and actor, and in that moment, oh God, I couldn't imagine being Helena in that moment. The love of her life, who she is desperately clinging to find a future with in this time where she doesn't know if they're going to survive the next minute, and to have it all flash before her eyes that she's about to lose him, it breaks my heart. And so this scene in particular, always filming it and watching it, always I always get this lump in my throat, because that moment was so deep for us.
Yeah, and I think that anyone has asked themselves, if they were put in a position like that, how they would respond. If they were, how do you fight? What is, do you fight back, or is maintaining hope itself resistance? And I think that's such a beautiful scene that encapsulates such a deep conflict that I think so many people have. It's not really a question, it's just complimenting the material and the work, I guess. But yeah, sorry, let me pull up my questions again. So I just got lost. I think also, we don't think of, when I think of costuming and makeup adding something to a character, I often think that we think of the big, splashy, transformative things. But I think that this is a great example that I like to talk about, is that how something can kind of place you in a moment through costume and makeup, and how does Helena kind of dressed like that, looking like that, kind of set you up for a scene?
It is so important, I think, to feel what you're wearing on your body, on your face, and your hair, whatever your character is, that accurately brings you to the place you need to be, that it feels right. And our department heads were just incredible at what they did. And Helena's been hiding in this shelter with her sister and her husband for a few days now, and she's disheveled, she is dirty, she is tired, she is hungry. There is so much that is just weighing on her. And I think that this moment, it's just her appearance, especially Helena and most women in that period of time, expressed so much vanity in their hair and their makeup and being kept up and so and Helena, I don't know if everyone's seen the show, but if not, like there are moments throughout the show where like her pride, the only thing that she can hold on to in like certain moments is like she needs to like put the pin in her hair after like the worst imaginable moment that could have ever happened to her. Like there are certain things that's like seeing how disheveled she is adds to like this desperation of like clinging on to this person that she loves, and like she is just like trying everything in the book to get him to stay and to not go. And so our hair and makeup team and our wardrobe team they were amazing. They were phenomenal, and they always like it was never a question. They always made us feel exactly how we needed to feel to transport us into that moment in that scene. And I found a lot of really cool things about Helena through their beautiful work.
Absolutely. And also, working with a scene partner like this, I mean, kind of building chemistry with another actor amid, a very tense backdrop. I can only imagine this is very different than like doing a rom-com. I mean,
why?
I don't know. I mean, just a little brief here. Yeah. But kind of like how do you approach something, where it has, you have to keep up like a very you have this heavy burden on your back with this show, this story, but you also want to create like kind of a realistic relationship with someone on screen like that.
I love this question, and I think that so Sam is just like the sweetest person, and I think that truly for me, what made this moment so heartbreaking to film was also like the love that I have for him as a person, and like we would hang out and it was always joyous. I think that is like you don't like build a relationship or a friendship off of like talk or like I don't think you become close when you're like, oh, and our characters are going to be so sad all the time, we should talk about how sad we're going to be. It's like actually like we built such a beautiful friendship with each other that it was so honest and sweet and pure, and we just really love each other, and we still send each other cat memes to this day. But like that joy that we like share between each other like makes these moments actually that much more devastating to film, because you actually do care about that person and you have great memories with this person and you find them to be wonderful and you find them to be fascinating and cool and fun and interesting. And then if you're putting yourself in this position of, let's say it was actually Sam in this moment saying that he's going to go basically end his life by fighting, that's like holding on to the joy that you have with someone makes those scenes so horrible and devastating, because it's just like that's what life is. You love people because of the memories you create with them and the joy you have with them. And so, when you lose a loved one in real life, it's like you obviously remember all the beautiful things about them. And so creating a friendship based on like happy, gorgeous memories was so helpful with everyone in the cast on the show, because the moment you're in a scene and you have to imagine the worst, you actually look at the person in front of you who was a stranger a couple months ago and is now someone that you love, and you're like, it's terrible.
Let's cut to another clip, this time with Logan.